The year is 1750. England is overrun with crime and one man reigns supreme among highway robbers, none other than Dick Turpin. But wait a minute, this isn't your standard history lesson. This is Carry On Dick, the cheeky, bawdy comedy that marked the end of an era. Released in 1974, it was not only a parody of the famous Highwayman, but also the last Carry On film for three of the series' biggest stars, Sid James, Hattie Jacques, and Barbara Windsor. Saddle up as we dive into this classic caper. Sid James, in his final Carry On role, plays the double life of Dick Turpin and Reverend Flasher, the mild-mannered rector of Upper Denture. His performance, as always, brims with charisma and that iconic cackle. Watching Sid in this film, it's hard to imagine he was already in declining health during production. His energy and charm light up the screen, cementing his legacy as one of Britain's greatest comedic talents. This film also marked the end of Hattie Jacques' Carry On journey, and she left on a high note. As Martha Hoggett, the Reverend's sharp-witted housekeeper, Hattie brings warmth and hilarity to the role, piecing together the Reverend's secret life with impeccable comic timing. Her presence was a staple of the series, and her absence was sorely felt in future installments. Now, let's talk about Joan Sims as the faux French Madame Désirée. Sims is a riot, slipping effortlessly between an over-the-top French accent and her native Cockney tones, whether she's hosting her rowdy dancers, the Birds of Paradise, or scheming alongside Dick Turpin. Without realising who she's really helping, Sims proves yet again why she's a carry-on treasure. And then there's Barbara Windsor, who also bowed out of the series with this film. As Harriet, one of Dick's crafty accomplices, she shines in every scene. Whether she's swindling the Bow Street runners or pulling off a quick costume change to save the day, Babs brings her signature sparkle and mischief to the role. Her departure, like Hattie's, marked the end of an era for the Carry On series, as three of its most beloved stars made their final appearances. Of course, no Carry On film would be complete without Kenneth Williams. As Captain Desmond Fancy, he's pompous, prim, and utterly hilarious. Pair him with Jack Douglas as the hapless Sergeant Jock Strap, and you've got comedy gold. Their bumbling attempts to infiltrate Turpin's world are filled with slapstick, innuendo, and some questionable tactics in public conveniences. There's also memorable brief appearances of Kenneth Connor as the Constable, Bill Maynard, Patsy Rowlands, and Marianne Stone. Bernard Breslaw plays Police Chief Sir Roger Daly, who along with his wife, played by Margaret Nolan, are hilariously held up twice by Dick Turpin and his gang. The title, Carry On Dick, caused quite a stir upon release. Its cheeky double entendre was just a bit too much for some censors. And speaking of cheeky, this film is packed with Carry On's signature humour. Whether it's mistaken identities, innuendos, or chaotic chases, the climax of the film is a perfect blend of slapstick and suspense. Without giving too much away, let's just say that Reverend Flasher, Harriet, and Tom have a knack for slipping out of sticky situations. Peter Butterworth as Tom, by the way, is a joy. His deadpan delivery always hits the mark. Carry On Dick also marked the end of the series' historical comedies. From Carry On Henry to Carry On Cleo, these films transported us to another time while keeping the laughs firmly in the present. And what better way to close that chapter than with this rollicking parody of Highwaymen? So there you have it, Carry On Dick, a film filled with laughs, mishaps, and a touch of nostalgia. It's a fitting farewell for Sid James, Hattie Jacques, and Barbara Windsor, three titans of British comedy who helped define the spirit of Carry On. Until next time, keep your pistols primed and your puns plentiful.
That doesn't scare me. I've seen bigger ones in my time.